welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast. I'm Bobby.
I'm Nick.
I'm Emilio.
And I'm coming to you live from my basement, John.
Hey, Johnny. Welcome to
Hey,
the
hey.
show. You're not Amanda.
That's right.
Well, welcome, John. This is not your first time on the show, so hopefully people know you.
Yeah, hopefully JP Diddy on the gaming community.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
thanks
The
for
snake
having
guy.
me.
All right.
If you got the Not Safe for Work podcast, episode 1, you heard Diddy hosting the show.
That's right. That's right. That was a fun time.
Oh, yeah.
Good times. All right. Well, we are in the sweat lodge again, back in the studio. It's still a hot one. It's like 90 degrees and raining out here. It's ridiculous, dude. This week has not been fun.
We got the tail.
It rains in San Diego? I thought that never happened.
It happens like 3 times a year.
Yeah. We got the tail end of a hurricane. It came towards us and then it made a U-turn and left. So we just got the whip tail ends of it. And Mila my stepdaughter went to the heart of the tail whip. Like she went down to Mexico where it was going to hit. And I was like, don't go to a hurricane, dude. Guess what happened? Their fucking vacation house got flooded, of course. And they all had a terrible time and came home. Like, what? Anyway. You know what? I didn't get flooded? My video games. Let's talk. I gotta do Amanda's terrible fucking segues.
But you forgot speaking of. You got to put the speaking
Yeah,
of in
speaking of.
there. Okay.
Speaking of.
So yeah, on the radar, let's get right into it. Games that have come to our attention. Now, this game I'm going to talk about actually came out last week. I should have talked about it then, but I forgot. This is Immortality. This is the new game by Sam Barlow. He had that hit Her Story, and then there was Telling Lies that came out a few years after that. Those full motion video games where you kind of discover it's like a detective game almost, where you discover bits and pieces of a story and eventually reveal the whole story at large. This one, I mean, I've been following this for, God, it seems like years now. So he's released very little information, but I do remember him saying that it takes place over 3 different time periods. And again, it is a full motion video game. So, you know, it's got lots of actors in it and it looks like you're piecing a story together. But yeah, it's his new one. It looks like it's like his other ones, but a lot bigger. And, you know, period pieces are hard to do. So looks like a lot of effort went into this.
Yeah, that's probably why it took so long, man. I was just thinking, dude, fucking video games are one of the hardest things to make. And then movies are super fucking hard to make. And this guy's like, fuck it, I'm doing both in one.
Yeah, he's
you know?
like, I'm going to do a vintage of a thing that doesn't really have that many good vintage versions. Like, it's like games do not vintage well. Like, you can't do old shit and be fun, but this looks actually really cool.
Yeah, it does look good. It looks quality, you know. It made the video look old as well. Nice little filter on there.
Yeah, because you're discovering videos from different time periods, and obviously different technology existed at those different time periods. And it's really hard. I can tell from experience, it's really hard to make video look like it's from the 80s or from the 70s, unless you're using the actual equipment, you know, like 16 millimeter film stock or something. But you can always throw a filter in iMovie on there, but it just never looks quite right.
Yeah. You can totally tell.
You can always tell.
Yeah.
A trick. So out here in San Diego, we've got a lot of people know Mega 64. They even before YouTube, they were making these weird video game videos, and I tangentially know those guys. But a trick they used to do this was they filmed something like they normally did, and then they played it on a TV, and then recorded the TV. To get that VHS look, and it turned out pretty well. But that's kind of a real practical way of going about it. But yeah, if you're lazy and try to solve everything with a filter, it never looks good. So how much is this game? Can you scroll down? This is Immortality. It is $20. Yeah, and I think that's usually the price point that he has for these games. And I don't know.
Kind of a steal. I feel like, you know, a lot of money and effort went into this, dude.
Yeah.
What's the time to beat for this? Because if it's longer than like 2 hours, it's a better value than like a movie.
Going to a movie. I was just thinking the same thing, Nick.
Well, the time to beat is going to be different for everybody because it can take you a lot longer to figure out the story. And not only that,
There's some real dummies out there. Too, right, Bobby?
there's really
some real
no.
people get some real value.
But with okay, and time to beat, they're saying 5.5 hours. I think that's a little shorter, or 8 hours for the main and extras, or completionist 16 hours, and that's what I want to talk about.
Wow.
This game, it really depends on how much of the story you want. And I'm assuming based
it's a la
on
carte.
telling lies and her story. But you can, when you play the game, you're watching all these different videos, and then you search for a keyword. They say something in there, and they're like, well, let me search for that keyword that they said, and it'll turn up other videos. So you're discovering the story by doing this detective work. Now, at any point, you can say, okay, I saw the ending clip. Like somehow I got there, I saw how this ends, and you can call it quits there if you want. But if you want to know more, like, oh, what happened at this part, or how did we get there, or you want to fill in the gaps, then yeah, it could take you a lot longer. So if you want to see every single clip, then it's going to take you, 3 times the amount of time to quote unquote beat this game. It doesn't really have a solid finish line, you know?
I feel like if I had this game, I would have a cork board with pins and yarn on it with pictures of different people.
Like Charlie from It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
That all
He's
mean.
working the postman.
There's some early access like media reviews to come out, and like PC Gamer giving it 95%, 10 out of 10 by Edge, and 5 stars from NME. Like that's hard to get. I feel like this game is going to be really fucking good.
Nice, man. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's perfecting the medium. You know, he does a very unique style of game, and this is his 3rd crack at it. So I feel like this is going to be really good.
And then her story went to mobile too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
Yeah,
that's
it was
a
on
whole,
mobile.
That's a whole
Oh,
second.
wow.
That's a whole secondary revenue stream
Market.
for him.
Yeah.
That he's going to tap into. Which, good for him, man. Trailblazer.
Yep. All right. So I don't know if I'm going to be playing that this week, but that's definitely going to happen at some point. You'll be hearing about it. Immortality.
It's pretty cool.
yeah.
Speaking of things that are like improvements, I guess you can say. I'm talking about Atomic Heart. So I played a game a couple of weeks ago where it was like a robotic horror game. I thought it was going to be like
remember that
5
one.
hours. Yeah.
And I said
So-
that game reminded me of Atomic Heart.
Did you?
Yeah, but I couldn't remember the name of it because this got announced, dude, like 5 years ago. We got like a very small like CGI trailer, and everybody was like, "What the fuck is this? Oh my god!" And then it's been delayed till now. Hopefully, you got some nice updates.
Yeah, the gameplay came out and a bunch of other things. It dude, it looks fucking scary. And so like I feel like this is like the AAA version of that game. This is where like the indie version came out before the Big Bang version, but this is like the Big Bang version. Like this looks pretty fucking good and scary.
Yeah, dude.
So
It has some like
It feels kind of Bioshock. doesn't
Bioshock,
it? A little-
like
yeah.
Bioshock
Yeah.
Infinite is exactly you stole the words out of my mouth. Yeah, Bioshock
robotic
Infinite.
horror.
Oh, did you say a robotic what?
I said robotic horror.
Oh,
like, this
horror.
Is like, this.
Okay.
Yeah, like this is a genre that like when Bioshock hit was like the perfect genre to improvise. Like this is now. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, heavy Bioshock vibes. But yeah, this looks fucking graphics are awesome. The graphics were this good like 5 years ago, but we're like, what where is this game? It's just taking a long time. But as long as we get it eventually.
Yeah, it looks great.
There's a new noise in my house, guys. I don't know what it is. Could be anything.
Sounds like
It
a
sounds like a chicken.
jackhammer.
Fuck is that?
Oh, it stopped.
All right.
I guess that's good.
Must be fine. The spiking pain in my chest stopped, so I should be good.
I'm going to sleep with a.
Oh, I have the same pain on my left as my right, so at least it's symmetrical.
Balanced.
I should be
Yeah.
fine.
This is freaky looking.
Yeah, but no, this looks insane, man. I can't wait for this to come.
For those not watching, which is almost all of you, it's a first-person shooter. Yeah, I can only say robotic horror Bioshock.
Yeah, it looks like you're using superpowers and abilities.
Yeah,
just
like a gun in your right hand
Yep.
and like superpowers in your left.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
the release date and price on this?
What do we got?
From what I remember,
Winter.
This winter.
This
Winter is coming. At some point at 2024, we're gonna get a winter around here. I think. Fucking shit, dude.
can't wait for
Anybody
it to
want to wear
come again.
fucking? We're gonna be wearing bikinis on Halloween, dude. It's gonna be so goddamn hot.
Oh man.
All right, no price yet.
Yeah. All right.
Looks cool.
What do you got there, John? Almost got you, man.
For on the radar for me, Across the Obelisk is a game that came across my discovery queue that looked super interesting, and it honestly it looks like something that you and I will play during what I call our special time.
Yeah.
When we play games together.
Which
So
is getting
it
rarer
is
and rarer these days, man.
yeah, with kids and work and everything else, it's definitely a challenge. But it's a co-op roguelike deck builder. So card game, roguelike. We get to play it together up to 4 people. Looks super promising.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it's been out a while from an early access perspective, like since 21, like April, I want to say. But it just now came out in full release last month, I believe.
Of
So
course, I
totally,
have this on my wish list, dude. I've seen this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I just saw it in my discovery queue and added. I'm like, how did I not know about this? Because this is totally up my alley. Bobby, you've been playing Monster Train. I think this is probably up yours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I want to say we did bring this up because there was. I remember being really surprised that hey, this is a co-op game,
Right.
Yeah.
which we don't really see with roguelike or deck builders, but it's starting to become a little more common. There's been a few games where they've incorporated co-op into these types of games.
yeah.
How?
I think
What's
I
the
remember bringing
only?
up that
Go ahead.
I think I remember bringing up the fact that the cards look like Hearthstone cards. I think I remember this. Yeah.
Very Slay the Spire.
That's what I was
vibes,
gonna
think,
say.
too.
Like, what's the only, or like, one of the few ways that you can improve Slay the Spire? Like,
Make it co-op.
yeah, make it co-op. It's like one of the
For sure.
Yeah, as long as you pull it off. I know it's very positive, Christian, but what are the percentages there on that and numbers? Is that 91% with 3,000?
3,760.
Looks like we have a winner here, folks. We are going to have to shut down this podcast. We're going to go. It's going to be.
Okay, get started on this immediately. I count for
Welcome
Welcome
new
back to
topic.
Obelisk
It's gonna reach
Cast.
2 years later, dude, you know what game I picked up again?
Yeah.
Across the Obelisk.
Yeah. So the last one I got from me is just an art. One thing I do love about Google, like news stream, it learns me so quickly. Like, right under my Google search bar, there's like always 5 articles, and I'm interested in all of them. Like, it does such a good job of like giving me what I want, and it's like, what very old game is at the top of the sales charts on Steam? I don't know. What is it, Google? Click, click, click. So it turns out it's Star Wars The Old Republic is like number 6 on sales for subscriptions. So the game itself, it's free. Obviously, this is an old game. I don't know when it came out. But
About 2010, 2011.
yeah, a long time ago. But despite it being free, subscriptions for it is one of the top sellers right now. So it's having a resurgence. And guess what, Chris? It didn't take a bunch of nerds getting together and working and programming for months and months. It's a game that works. And and for Bobby, I think if you start playing, you don't know how to do it. I think if you Google something, the answer's gonna come up. You jump with spacebar, like you don't. It's not like some obscure shit you can't even find tutorials for anymore.
Do you want to know the worst part about that? Is that me and Chris were just talking about that before we started the podcast. He's like, "Hey, do you want to hear my trailer that me and my friend made for our game?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, let's watch it." And I was like, "It's pretty good."
All said and done, though, I did play Galaxies a lot more than I played Republic. But maybe
Same.
it's in a really good spot right now. I don't know. But so John and I start playing video games. Oh, that'll lead us into highlights later. But first time in like 3 weeks, we sit down, we start playing. And he's like, you know what, man? I think we should start playing WoW together. I'm like, dude, it's been once in 3 weeks. and you want to start up the most time-intensive game.
Let's
of
do
all
it.
time.
Yeah, let's
do
just
it.
get it.
Yeah.
We're a one-night wonder for old time's sake.
We would
Let's
have
just-
3 sessions before we make our characters, before we're done with character creation.
That's right.
Yeah. What's the last thing you got there, Johnny?
So with DLG Con coming up in three short weeks, right? The weekend of the 30th through the October 3rd, I wanted to throw out a little bit of an invite out there to any Texans or people going to DLG Con. One of my many day jobs, if you didn't know, is as a rare ball python breeder. And I end up going to trade shows, and one of the trade shows is coming to Arlington, Texas here in 2 weeks, so the weekend before DLG Con. That's the North America Reptile Breeders Conference, or NARBC, hosted in Arlington, Texas at their esports event center, which is super cool, by the way. But for anybody interested to just kind of get away for the weekend and go check out a zoo like atmosphere with way more, color and pattern and animal variation than you've ever seen at any zoo, I would definitely recommend you spend a little time, if you're in that local area, to swing on down to the NARBC Reptile Convention that weekend, the weekend of the 24th and 25th, so weekend before DLG Con. Happy to say hi to anybody, talk shop. I've met Tag Loro down there, did dinner and played Magic with him, and I forget the other gentleman's name. He went to the actual reptile show, and he was wearing his DLG shirt. Him and I got a picture together because I'm always repping DLG underneath my my trade show garb. So happy to say hi, see anybody, and talk shop, be it video games or reptiles or any other strange topic that comes up. Somebody wants to swing on by.
So
Quick
Johnny
question,
he PayPal'd me $700. I'm gonna go ahead and plug your website there.
I'm trying to get that DLG bump just a little bit.
So like, how much is like one like snake? Maybe like 20 inches long.
Size is
Charged
really
by the
relevant.
inch.
Yeah, his size
You
is
get
really
20
relevant.
inch pop python, please.
Yeah, it varies. It's based on the rarity of the genetics, the rarity of the combination, how good it looks, gender, like stuff like that. So it's kind of crazy because you go to these events and yeah, you can see your standard bearded dragon or ball python or turtle or tortoise that you can go and see in any old standard fair pet shop. But you can also see these like world's first mutations that the only place you're going to see them is at a show like this, with like pink frogs and yellow tortoises and like all these random like color and pattern mutations that are just absolutely crazy. So that's the coolness of it. Living art, just walking by and checking out living art.
Yeah, man.
That's
It's-
cool shit, man.
He made a business out of rolling genetic lotteries, dude. Basically.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's
Yep.
a real life ARC player.
That's right. That's right. All snakes.
Yeah.
All right. Time for highlights, games that we have played. Let's start it off with Beyond the Wire because a couple of us
Hell
played that
yeah.
game. So this is a first-person shooter game would be the simplest way to describe it, from the creators of Squad, but it takes place in World War I. So Nic, Christian, and I both played this game this week, and I don't know. Squad didn't really connect with me, obviously, so I'm probably not the best person to go judging this game. It does feel very similar. There were some things that I did not like, though, like when you look down the scope of a sniper rifle, it seems to lock to like a grid. We had the same problem with the artillery as well. So that felt a little janky, but otherwise, I really like the fact that you can create a squad, and that squad is specifically riflemen or specifically artillery or snipers or this or that. And that's what your team does, and they have a very different loadout on it. So, I mean, that was kind of cool.
You don't have mixed squads?
No.
So you as a squad have a job, and you together
Yes,
go and
so
do that job. That's interesting.
This is the part
I
I,
like
wanted
that.
to talk about. Yeah, this is the part I wanted to talk about, was the fact that so not only do like the squad of riflemen have jobs, but even the people inside that squad of riflemen each have their own jobs as well.
Sub jobs.
There's an officer. There's yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, like there'd be like a guy who carries ammo. It's like you literally just have ammo in a club. That's it. Like,
No gun?
no gun. Just
Dude, the
ammo
club-
and bonking.
The club fucking wrecks, though. Come on. I was like on a 10 kill streak with the club. Oh, man, it was brutal.
So I think I got to play something that they didn't get to play because I ended up playing like another 2 hours after that. And so, did you guys get to experience any of the tanks and like the other vehicles and shit?
Nah.
So yeah, so normally the way the mechanic works to play an officer, because one of the officers are like XP based, like you get to get a certain amount of kills and stuff. So and like like the officer kit's a little bit better than the fucking normal kit, but the vehicles are even harder to get. But the game is like 4 times as long, and the vehicles are nuts because they're kind of like official in the sense like you're not playing the Germans and you can spawn in a French tank. Like when you play the Germans, you have to spawn in one of the German tanks. And I had to spawn inside of a little French tank, and it was scary as shit, dude. Because like the German tank has like 4 cannons on it, and I'm like in a little French tank that takes 2 people to fucking pilot, and it's hella slow. Like it literally goes 7 kilometers an hour, and like you're like moving the turret by hand, and there's no reticle. There's no reticle where you're aiming, and this thing with 4 cannons is just slowly lurching towards you. I ended up getting 14 kills with it, and then blowing up 2 of those tanks.
You know how bad you know how bad French tanks are? I didn't know they existed until this moment.
Dude, it's I think Chris could bring up an image of it, dude. But it looks like 2 dudes pretending to be a horse. Like that's how bad this tank looks. I forgot what it is. Just look at World War I French tank, dude.
Wow.
It's so bad.
Wow.
It, like the cannon that it shoots has like a little chode.
I don't know
Wow.
what you're
That's
talking
it right
about.
there.
This tank looks above average. Look at it.
Above average. It's a nice size.
It's huge. I'm sure it does great. I'm sure
Maybe
it
in
does
Canada it's huge.
But yeah, imagine being in this thing and shooting like this box of death coming at you. That,
Yeah.
Like you get to do that in this game, and it's really shitty that it only has like 180 active players on it. When the next server that we hopped into, there was way more people than me and Bobby played, and Chris. Like it was when me, Bobby, and Chris played, it was like 50. When I ended up playing in the next server, it was like 95, 96.
Oh wow. Way more involved.
My-
Yeah, and the
my
game is really
biggest-
built to. You really need a lot of players to have a real game.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, apparently there are small squad game modes. Like it's like 20 versus 20 if you consider that small squad. But I think the biggest trouble with this game is that there's no NVIDIA drivers, and like
Oh.
I was running on like medium settings, and my card was like chugging.
Mm.
And I think that's one of the problems is like it's just not optimized.
Yeah. For
saw
those
someone-
who didn't see a picture of the French tank, if you don't want to Google it, it looks like the droid that they picked before R2D2, the one that was like exploded.
R1C2.
Yeah, that other one. Yeah, that's what it looked like. So.
Do they make tanks anymore?
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
France?
Oh yeah.
No, I mean anybody. It's
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah,
still a thing
yeah.
in
Dude.
warfare.
Yep.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not.
No, I
man.
really didn't know because
No.
I feel like the tank is
Yeah.
kind of obsolete now that we got drones.
That's one of the biggest parts about this Ukrainian and Russian war is the fact that all these tanks are just getting absolutely destroyed by like artillery and drones, man. It's
Yeah,
like-
and
it's been one of
they're
the
not
hottest things
cheap,
in the
dude. I
news.
don't know how much a tank costs, but I imagine quite a
Way
bit of
less
money.
than a drone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually getting so bad. Countries are looking into making light tanks again, like tanks that they like shoot and can drive really fast and stuff.
Bobby, if you want
Like
to
a
get caught
car?
up on modern warfare, there's a few subreddits you should take a look at.
I really don't care.
You can see a video from Ukraine. Yeah. But yeah, there's some
6.2.
gnarly ass tanks out there, man.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That's crazy. I remember listening to a podcast where they were talking about they were interviewing a guy that works on like builds shit and they use it. He said they use it in tanks. So yeah, I should have known that. It seems to me though that that's like an obsolete war machine. You know, it's like
Well, they add
find a big
things to 'em.
zeppelin or something.
It's the forever arms race where like Oh, there's a new gun. We make a new shield for that gun. So there's tanks that like if you shoot a missile at it, it shoots like a shot, not a shotgun, but flak at it, and it
Yep.
blows up blows up the round before it hits the tank.
I think
And
we should just settle all international conflict digitally. You know, have them play like a league game or something, or Dota.
But Beyond the Wire. Have them play Beyond the Wire.
I don't know about that.
It's a little violent.
The game needs a little work. I don't know. Is that what Squad? I remember Squad being a lot better than this. Like this felt like. See,
Yeah,
here's the
it's
thing
s-
though. I played a lot of Day Defeat, and you know those old games they're janky too. But like if I were to play this like back 20 years ago when I was playing Day of Defeat, I'd have been like, dude, this game needs work. You know. And back in the day, you didn't really see games that were just like in early access. That wasn't a thing. Like you always saw finished products. Every now and then, like one would have a lot of issues, and you know nobody would play it, and it would just disappear into the ether. But like games worked back then, even though they were janky. This one I feel like was just I don't know. It's like missing some pieces.
Chris, what are your so Nick says it's great. Bobby poo poos it. And where you at? You're the vote.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. But my personal opinion, I wouldn't play this again. I think I agree that it was missing something. It's not as fun as Squad, you know? I feel like you can jump in a squad and have a pretty good time. This seemed like a weird mix of like arcade, but they were still going for that hardcore feel. So it wasn't like a mill sim, but it's not like Call of Duty or like a more quicker pace shooter. It was like some weird thing in between. It just didn't work for me.
Maybe it was missing robotic horror.
Yeah,
Sorry, horror.
Could. Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of those things, sure.
All right. Well, what have you guys been playing?
Well, the little bit that Johnny and I got to play, we played Arizona Sunshine, because it's a co-op, a tried and true. It's been around since the beginning, but they've been working on it the whole time. So it's a VR, first person, like I guess everything in VR is first person, but a zombie apocalypse type game. I'm surprised they haven't updated the first level. Like it is pretty dated. There's some DLC stuff. We didn't get into that, but the co-op works pretty well. Like I was hosting, so it was my campaign. I was the only one who was able to interact with like story
Quest items.
Yes,
Yep.
quest items, story items, and he was just kind of like an. I was like, man, you're making this not fun because you're like John Wick. He was running, no fear at all. This guy just runs up to fucking zombies and shoots, puts his gun on the temple and just pulls the trigger. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that was an option, dude. I'm over here like doing the cross arm, trying to be fucking all tactical and stuff, hitting him from no, he's just fucking just assassination style over and over. And I was like, I guess that's an option too. I
Never miss.
yeah. I don't. I'm like, I've got 60 bullets. What about you? He's like 240. he's like, because he's one shots everybody. So there was more zombies, but I think only during the like defend horde mode time. Like, you know, when you pull the generator switch and it makes a bunch of noise and they all come out. I think at that point we were getting more zombies, but I think the regular game, it was just regular amount of zombies. So we were
Yep.
never like, during the regular time, we weren't ever overwhelmed. We also put it on normal too. I think we could handle harder because John's like, call your shots. And it's funny because you have to, on the fly, make up stupid ass names for this. I was like, I got blue shirt. And he's like, I got polka dots. And you're like, I got construction worker. And you're just like cutting off or calling off these people. But all in all, like, I had a good time with it. I've had this game for years. And
Yeah,
I've
me too.
never beat the first level. And now I have. And I think we'll continue to play this one, huh, Johnny?
I think so too. Yeah, we were just looking for something different than the walkabout golf, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had a great time playing it. I thought it was fun. The weird part was how you wanted to hold hands most of the time because you were scared. So we had to virtually hold hands like when it got really scary. But other than that, yeah, it was a ton of fun. Definitely want to go back to it.
Absolutely. For sure.
What was the game that you called out and said, "Oh, look at this reviews. Let's try this game." And then we played it for 15 minutes and went, "This thing sucks."
Yeah, it's Trickster. So VR.
Trickster, that was it.
Stay away from Trickster on VR. VR Trickster, something like that. It had like decent. It's not worth talking about. Just don't buy it.
You got tricked by a game called Trickster, man.
Damn.
How fucking
That's
old
right.
are you?
We did.
Pretty tricky.
so
You're like
true.
80 years old.
To be fair, I got tricked. John was like, "Let's play this other game," and I was like, "No, dude, this one has better reviews and it's newer. It's got to be better." And then
typical Emilio selling the other game. I'm like, okay, fine, we'll buy and download this one. I'm like, this other one's been out a few years. It's only $5. Reviews are really good. He's like, no, this one.
This one's $29.99.
Yeah. We both returned it.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the perfect husband and wife dichotomy. You get
It
the
is.
one that just wants to spend money, and the other one's like, "But check out this version; it's perfectly fine. It's on Amazon."
We've got ice cream at home, John.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
What do you got? Somebody, John?
Yeah, sure. So one thing I wanted to call out. So originally, I got a Secret Lab, which you've heard of that company, gaming chair, and they I want to say the company started up in 2017, somewhere around there, and I found them, and I was really just looking for something other than a DX racer.
Another
for a
plug,
chair.
John? I need another $700.
I'm sorry. It's the check's in the mail. But seriously, I have nothing to do with this company. But I got one of their chairs. I really dug it. I thought it was a great chair. I got one. I'm sitting in right now. It's the exact same chair I bought in 2017. And recently, across the bottom front of the chair, it was fraying really bad, and it's just got exponentially worse. And so I'm like, hey, what does this thing have for a warranty? I bet it was a year or something stupid. Well, it turns out it was a 5-year warranty that came with the chair, which unfortunately had since expired. But I still reached out to the company. I sent them pictures and just asked, hey, is there anything you can do here, or what can I do? Well, long story short, they were amazing. Like, customer service wise, I can't say enough good things about how responsive they were, how many, emails and validation emails they sent, and talk me through everything. Long story short, for cost with free shipping, so at their cost for free shipping, they're going to send me a brand new seat for my chair, even though it's out of warranty, which is super awesome. So they're gonna send that to me, and I just wanted to plug them because I thought that was just super great. Within 3 email exchanges, they're like, yep, we're going to send you an invoice. We're going to send you a seat at cost. So it was like $60 or something for a $500 chair seat. And it's going to be made of the new material, blah, 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 blah. So it's going to be better for you, all that jazz, and free shipping. So I was like, that's awesome.
Head to secretlabchair.ca/JPDiddy to get your...
I've seen these chairs before. These chairs were in that TV show Players that I was talking about the League of
really?
Legends sports team. Yeah, I saw them. I think that's when I first kind of clocked this company, and I feel like since then I've been seeing them pop up here and there. But yeah, they are kind of making a name for themselves. These Secret Lab chairs.
Yeah,
I may need a new chair pretty soon. The way I'm sweating through mine, man, with this heat.
So Nick, I've got the Titan, which is the fat ass guy one. I want to say it's 350, 300. I don't know, whatever. They make a big boy one. Is the short version.
Cool. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's what this is. The new ones have a little magnetic pillow that just magnet sticks on. It's pretty dope. I kind of wanted a new one. I was hoping they'd give me a discount on a new one, but no, they just sent me a new seat.
Nice.
Thank you again for our sponsor. I'm just kidding.
Jesus.
It's
Jim.
like,
Jim's going to be super nice.
For the people who I'm talking to, I was just browsing their website and their customer support thing popped up. So I just was letting them know that their guy on the inside, John, JP Diddy, he's been talking good about them. Now I'm talking to Jim. And hopefully we get some. I'll keep this going as the episode goes. Maybe we'll get something out of it.
That would, yeah.
All
tell
right.
them that 3 of our casters need new chairs. And we're willing to pay just shipping.
yeah, for a new chair. That's hilarious.
Whew. All right, I guess I'll talk about my last game this week. I played Tooth and Tail. This game came out a while ago, 2017, and I've always had my eye on it because it was pretty successful when it came out, I want to say. I didn't realize until I played it this time. This is made by the same developer as Monaco. Now, Monaco is it's a heist game that I really liked back in the day, and I really kind of pushed this game. I think it came out maybe 2014 or something, and I love the color palette of Monaco. It was just bright neon. However, the graphics were so low res, it kind of created a problem with the game, especially in a heist game where you have different classes doing different things, and you need to be really aware of, vision cones and timers and things like that. So it was a difficult game. Monaco was very difficult, and I wanted it to be more than it was, man. Like I tried to drag so many people into playing that with me, but it was kind of hard because of that learning curve. But anyway, what's the developer's name? Can we exit out of this so I could see it? It starts with a P and I can't remember. Pocket Watch Games.
You know, it's funny, Bobby. You know how I always come in, I go pee, and I come back, and I think I know everything that's going on, and then I ask what just got asked. Either way, when you were talking about, I thought you were talking about this game right here, Tooth and Tail, and I was like, "Ooh, he sounds like a lot like Monaco." You were actually you were talking about Monaco.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this game, Pocket Watch Games, the creators of Monaco, they made this game a few years later, and it's an RTS game, but it works a little different. Now, a lot of the reviews are good, but some people will complain that it doesn't have the depth and complexity that you're used to in a lot of RTS games, specifically the micromanagement. Now, to some people, that's a big relief because that's tough, man. Like when I play Warcraft 3, I don't even play versus anymore. Like I don't even do it because the people that are still playing Warcraft 3 are just like way too good at the game, and it's just I'm gonna lose all the time and not have fun. And that's how a lot of RTSs go. The skill cap is so high that if the player base is not big enough or bad enough, then you're just gonna have a bad time. So Tooth and Tail, the way that they simplify the RTS game is you have a commander and everything happens according to your commander. You drag this commander around on the map and he can bring troops over to him. He can tell them to retreat. He can tell them to attack something. But you can't click around on the mini map and say, okay, you go over here and do this, you go do that. You can't manage multiple units. All you can do is use your commander to tell your troops what to do. Now, you can also leave your troops at base and send your commander out just as a scout too. But this game is single player and multiplayer. I just played the single player. The multiplayer, from even though I haven't checked it out, according to the reviews, people are saying it's like 5-10 minute games. For an RTS, that's really interesting because usually they go on quite a bit longer unless you get tower rushed or something, and that's never fun. But a 5 to 10 minute RTS, and they say it's quick and fun, so I might explore that. The theme of the game is really interesting. It's very Animal Farm. I don't know if you guys probably had to read that in high school. I'm pretty sure that's part of the curriculum still. But it's very Russian. The music's really good, and it's very like communist USSR. You have the long coats and the common folk, and there's like uprisings and people fighting for power, and there's like they don't use the exact words, but it feels very much like communist USSR, and it's all animals, anthropomorphic animals. So
I'm assuming the animals have different animals have different traits or different stats.
Yeah, they all have different abilities. Yet they group together for different things. So like your villagers, when you build farms, the villagers are always pigs. Of course, the flamethrower guy, he's a pig as well. But there's really no rhyme or reason. It's not like the reptiles group up versus the mammals or something.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's an interesting game. The single player is pretty good. The story, it's all right. The multiplayer is kind of what's intriguing me at this point. And I'm just happy to see someone taking a different spin on the RTS. Because as much as I love RTSs, it's just like I can't. I love RTS. I love competitive games. I love like playing against other human people or playing with other people. But like RTSs is just like, I don't know. It's hard for me to say like this is a legitimate genre of competitive gaming because it's just the skill cap is so high and it just feels so like ridiculous that they would ask me to do all this. Like you have to be like on Ritalin or something to like be good at StarCraft 2. It's just absurd. If you've ever seen a StarCraft 2
Or
player,
Asian.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't want to stereotype here, but if you've ever seen like a StarCraft 2 pro play, it's just like inhuman what they do, and it's just like, how do you even do that? That's not like a game to me. You've gone like beyond that. Like I'm not going to put that effort into a video game at this point in my life. If I'm going to work that hard at something, it's going to be in like school or work. But so I'm glad to see something like Tooth and Tail that dials it back a bit. Any way we can disable that beeping sound.
I'm just talking to Jim right now, Bobby. It's
Yeah,
pretty
no, I
important.
know,
So
I know what it
if you
is.
just want to continue on what you were saying.
No.
Funny thing is, Jim is actually JP Diddy doing his fucking side hustle.
It's an inside job the whole time. All right.
So you got somebody to play this with, Bobby? Have you found like a few people to play multiplayer with? Are you looking for somebody in the community?
Well, there's a
or what?
player base. There's people playing it. Not very many, I might add. If we scroll down, I think it was like 10 or 20 or something when I checked today. 5 right now. Today's peak was 22. So yeah, not a lot of people playing.
Yeah.
There is no co-op though. This is just versus. I can't imagine getting too into it. I just kind of want to try it out for myself. The multiplayer.
Wasn't it, Bob?
Next week, Tooth and Tail, guys. Am I right? He's a champion. He's
DLG bump.
ranked number 1 of 22, guys. Just
Number
saying.
one on the leaderboard. And they do in the single player game. After you beat a level, it has like a leaderboard based on times when you beat it. So I don't know. I guess you can try to speed run this and get up on there. But yeah, I mean it's a good game. You know, I think it's like had its day, and it's kind of like nobody's really playing it anymore. But I see why it was good. And Pocket Watch Games, I wonder if they've developed anything since then. It's been 5 years, so
What do you
it
got
seems like there should be something. Wildlife Tycoon. I mean, they got some stuff, but this is all old. Oh, this is
Can you
Yeah,
do
they
sort,
even
sort
around.
by date? Oh, that's not very many things. Anyway.
Monaco 2. Oh, is that being developed?
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Got
More
another
shit. We
movie.
can't tell what it is.
Yeah, TBD. Look at that. Okay, we got another
There they
Monaco
are.
game. Click on the screenshots. I want to see what the graphics. Oh,
Oh,
this
that's
is so
much
much
better.
So much better. All right, that's going on.
They
the wish
just
list.
uploaded this page as soon as they heard you
Yeah.
talking about
just
their
so
other game.
just so Nick and John can tell what we're talking about. Go to Monaco 1 and show them the graphics, dude.
Yeah, it's
I played Monaco with
It looks
Bobby
like Tetris.
once. Bobby was like, "Hey man, do you want to play it?" I'm like, "Sure, I'll check it out." I played with him once. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm cool with this. I'm good."
Yeah, it's
Oh.
tough, but I love the color palette and like the neon lights and the lighting that they did. Like it looks cool. I will always remember this game because I got flamed on this game once when playing with a random stranger, and it's not like when you usually have someone that gets upset with you at a game for not playing it well, and they don't use proper punctuation or capitalization, and their remarks are usually just not typed very well. But
Yeah,
this
yeah.
person was just like it was like
Articulate.
he was very
You
articulate.
got dressed down, is what happened.
Yeah, I was just like, wow, I've never been flamed like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then at the same time,
Good
I'm
day,
like-
sir. It just smack you across the face with a glove.
at the same time, I'm just like, this guy must really hate playing this game because he's probably running into people constantly that are just not like doing it right. It's a tough game to just group up with some randos. And
Was he right? Probably.
oh, I mean, probably.
Yeah, right,
I
yeah.
mean, I wasn't good at this game.
Yeah. Damn.
All right. Well, that was my week. What do you guys got?
Sometimes you get your soul insulted and it hurts.
Jesus Christ!
I always say that I'm always into the stuff around a thing and not so much into the thing. So like I don't listen to rap, but I'll be like, who are the 5 best rappers, or what does this guy think about this guy, or like all this stuff. I'll just be clicking on stuff, and I'm into the adjacent stuff. And obviously, I've been in Street Fighter my whole life, since playing in a 7-Eleven when I was 12 to, now I watch every Evo like I was talking about and all this stuff. But, I tried Street Fighter 4 and I was like, this is garbage. And I played Street Fighter 5 and it was garbage. And but I watch fucking YouTubers sometimes and blah, blah, blah. And one guy was like, Street Fighter 5 is it's at its end. It's kind of like the fifth year of a PlayStation or sixth year of a PlayStation, like when everything is fucking running at full steam. And this is the final season. Final season was probably last year. And so they do, they're trying to do the whole like battle pass and all that stuff. So anyway, this is the final season because Street Fighter 6 is coming out. And Championship Edition came out, which is a DLC. So you get all the seasons for free. They come out, and then if you want all those costumes, you pay for them, blah, blah, blah. There's so much fluff here. But actually, the game, Street Fighter V Championship Edition, is pretty good Street Fighter. I'm having a really good time with it. I started playing. I haven't been an active Street Fighter player in over 10 years, probably. Other than just playing with my friends, like couch co-op stuff, or couch versus or whatever. I haven't really played, and I've never played competitively online. But if anybody who's like gone to an arcade with me knows that like I usually take over the arcade. Like I'm pretty good in those settings, and I'm pretty good on the couch just randomly. So I'm like, how am I against the world? Turns out not very good. I won like my first, like, you start at the bottom, and I won like 30 or 40 matches, but then you get to like where you belong. Because I don't know Street Fighter. I know Street Fighter, but I don't know Street Fighter 5 all that well. So I start playing, and I learned my place. They put me in my place, which is not very high. It's like I barely touched silver for a second, and it tasted so good. And then I got knocked down to the bottom.
We call that old uncle energy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we call it.
I do have to say I'm playing. Here's my caveat, guys. I'm playing one of the most low tier characters. I only play Zangief, so that all the chips are stacked. All I have is old uncle to energy, and I'm playing one of the low tier guys. But it's so satisfying when you're beating top tier characters with it. I do want to talk a little bit about the philosophy of Street Fighter and why I like it so much, and why it's more than just like two characters doing their super. Let me try to do my super until it comes out, and then you start winning or whatever. No, it's so much more than that. Basically, it's two people that have relevant move sets, and some people have faster abilities than others that do less damage but have more priority. So you play footsies, and you're trying to just like poke each other, trying to feel each other out, do a little bit of damage here, a little bit of damage there, and then somebody will get a knockdown. And then when a knockdown happens, all kinds of shit can happen. So it's a game. Every single time there's a knockdown, there's like, it's not a 50-50 all the time. It's like 3 or 4 different things can happen. So the aggressor, the guy standing, can like go in for a throw, or he can go in for an attack, or he can go in for a combo, or he can go in for there's a jump. And then the defender, if he picks the correct defense, can thwart whatever the aggressor is doing and return back to normal and get everything back, even though you're at less health. And so what can happen is throughout a match, because you once you get somebody online, you don't just play them for the 3 rounds. You play them for the best of 3 games, so up to 9 rounds. And you get to learn a person's style, and you also get to condition them. So as you're playing them, you're like, oh, you make them think that you play a certain way. Like every time I knock somebody down, this is what I do. And so that person will be like, I'm going to do my defense for that attack. But if you condition them, you do them 3-4 times the same thing, they're going to assume that thing is, and then you do whatever counters that. And so there's this whole like mind game thing playing out. And, once you start watching competitive and people calling out, oh, he got him because, he conditioned him so well that this is the way he plays. But then he changed at the very last moment when it mattered. Or you just keep doing the most obnoxious thing over and over, and your opponent's like, no way he's gonna go that for the sixth time, and you do it for the sixth time, and it works. Like John was watching me today, and I was like, as long as he keeps doing it, I'm gonna keep fucking doing this. So, I just did a 360 bile driver over and over and over until I killed him. It's like, if you're not gonna ever change it, why would I change my? So it's like a little mental game that's going on, and I appreciate it so much. I'm having a really good time with it. I'm not very good, but if you want to play, I'm there. Just message me on Discord.
Is this super nostalgic for you, Emilio? Does it transport you back to 7-Eleven, old school Street Fighter?
There's I get an adrenaline rush every time I play. Yeah, I'm like, it's one of those things where like when I win, I'm like, oh yeah, that's how it should go. And then when it's close, I'm like, oh geez, I'm like, oh man, this is so close. But it's not. It's almost like I'm getting the feelings from a MOBA, but it's so quick. Like I just started playing on like Monday, and I already have 150 games in because they're so quick. You know what I mean? Like, oh, and the announcer when you start a game is like, she's always telling you all kinds of relevant information. She'll be like, "You are now in the top 100,000," and I'm like, nice, like fuck, I'm coming up. And then she goes, in North America. I'm like, fuck, you bitch. Or she'll
Can't even touch Japan.
She'll be like, this'll if you win this one, you're going to rank up. And then I don't win that one. Like just stuff like
welcome
stuff
to the
like
bottom.
Yeah, welcome to the bottom.
10 million.
Yeah. But yeah, it's in a good place. I don't know how far out we are from Street Fighter 6, but for $30, I think it's totally worth it if you want to. And there's a comeback mechanic that's so easy built into the game. You just push Fierce and Roundhouse together, and if you've taken a bunch of damage, there's like a secondary power bar, and you can use that to come back if somebody's bullying you a lot. You could just easily who can't push two buttons together, and yeah, you could do massive damage with that. So, but it's not abusive. It's in a good place. I like it. Tons of characters, tons.
Very cool.
Yep.
Speaking of street fighting, I've got a couple Souls-likes that have fighting in the streets somewhere in them.
Nice.
So Thymesia is a game that got released, I think, last month, and is a Souls-like. It's very Bloodborne-esque in terms of kind of I'll say the motif, but it's very Sekiro, if you've ever played Sekiro mechanics. Very fast-paced, very parry-heavy, so it's really pretty fun. It's a super short game, though, for a Souls-like. I want to say it's like time to beat's probably 6 hours, something like that. There's a bunch of side quests and things like that you can do, but if you mainline it, you can blow through, I want to say, 3-4 major bosses and be done with the game. It's really interesting in that it's got a very cool health bar mechanic in that you have armor on every enemy and you have health. And you can chip away at their armor with your main weapon, and then you have to use your what's called a Plague Claw attack to take away their health, because their armor will regenerate back up to where their health is. So you can like beat down an enemy with your main attack, and if you aren't on them and then switching over to your Claw Plague attack, they're going to regen all their health right back up. So you've got to stay on them, and you've got to alternate your attacks. The other thing that's super interesting is this claw weapon. You can charge it up, and it essentially steals the weapon type of whoever you're fighting. So you get I'll say a primary weapon type that you can equip as an alternate weapon, plague weapon, and then anybody comes along and you're like, hey, I really dig that guy's sword or rapier or whatever. You can then do a special attack that steals their weapon, and then you can use it back against him. So that's really, really fun and really, really cool. And then you can also kind of collect the different weapon types and insert that as your, I'll say, your secondary weapon type. But generically, if you like Sekiro type combat, it's very very similar, very fun, very short, kind of a diet Souls like, if you were. And it's got this very spooky Bloodborne atmosphere with good graphics, Unreal Engine 4, if I recall right. Typical Souls fashion, not much of a story, mostly lore based kind of combat, and it's pretty affordable. I think I got it for $20 on sale, like the initial release, and I think it's like 25 now. Yeah,
That doesn't look like a $20 game, man.
No,
That's
not
yeah,
at
it
all.
sounds like
yeah,
a
it
steal.
looks super pretty. It's just because it's short, I think.
Nice.
So yeah,
Yeah, it
I'm
looks really-
excited to
looks really
see.
good.
Yeah, I'm excited to see if this developer comes out with additional games, or plays off of this and does some DLC. I think they've got potential to make some pretty cool stuff. So
Nice.
the other Souls. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, all you, man. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. The other Souls like, Bobby, you might find this one interesting, is called Steelrising. So Steelrising is set in France during the French Revolution. So it's very steampunk universe in in the French Revolution, with automaton enemies. So all kind of like robotic steampunk-esque enemies. And you play as Agus, an automaton created by French inventor, you'll have to help me here, Bobby, Jacques de Vaucanson? Ganson? I
Nailed
don't know
it.
who that is.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Um,
Yes.
to protect the Queen, Marie Antoinette. So it's obviously alternative universe kind of
No.
gameplay. Yeah, it wasn't real. Did not really happen during the French Revolution.
Ooh, cool.
But super cool vibe to it. Super cool look. You're wandering around old school France, making your way from the castle to a couple different places to find out what's going on with all these, I'll say, bad guy automaton type creatures that you're fighting. Very cool atmosphere. Very cool graphics. Decent gameplay. It's got a pretty interesting little game mechanic relative to stamina recovery, kind of like the key pulse in Neo, if you ever played Neo. But the weapons are probably the coolest thing. They're all steampunk related. Some can apply effects, some have a special attack, some actually enable blocking or parrying, stuff like that. Some are ranged, all that fun stuff. So that part's probably the biggest, coolest thing. The bosses are interesting, but mildly forgettable. But the weapons are pretty cool. That's the fun part, and the fact that you're kind of a doll chick running around getting upgrades and fighting all these things. So that's pretty awesome.
The bosses look like furniture that has come to life, like something from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Like there's Lumiere,
Yeah.
there's Clockwork.
Yeah. Which
Another
one?
Disney reference? Is this Disney based maybe?
Which one did you prefer of the two?
I'm just starting to get into Steelrising. I think I liked the combat better in Thymesia. I think I like the environment and the graphics and kind of the weapons in Steelrising, because Thymesia doesn't really have weapons. You can like steal their weapons, like I was saying, but in here you actually equip and upgrade them. It's got more RPG elements, so I guess I like them just different for different reasons. This one's a little more story, a little less lore, which is also kind of interesting. The other part is this is $50.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's a lot. I think Thymesia makes a lot more sense at $25. Even though it's a short game, I'm sure that Steelrising, I have no idea what the time to beat on it is, but for $50, it's a lot. I'm more of this is probably a good $30 game. Main story and extras, yeah, 11 hours. Yeah, it's more content for sure, but yeah, I think this is more a $30 game.
Yeah, that would make me feel like a robotic horror on that one.
Yeah.
That's a
Yep.
little too much.
But yeah, super cool
This-
game.
Yeah, remember, if you're a developer, go ahead and combine Thymesia and Steelrising. Price it at $40, and you'll get the JP Diddy bump.
There you go. That's
There
right.
you go.
Hey guys, do you want to see my game trailer?
Bring it,
Yeah,
bring it.
All right, we're doing it. So
audio?
this is- Oh, well, there's like a narrator and stuff, and you want to really hear my voice over this kind of thing. So
I heard the ultra nerd uncensored version.
So this is the Star Wars Galaxies Restoration Project is coming up on its 1.0 release. It's been a long time coming. Lots of hard work went into this. This trailer is, guys, this might be the first DLG exclusive ever. Okay, I sent this to the meet. It's an unlisted YouTube video. It's gonna go live on Wednesday. So the trailer will go live on Wednesday. So we're getting the first sneak peek of this trailer. So that's cool. Not a lot to talk about. If you've already tried the game, definitely come back and give it another go. Lots has been improved. Mustafar, the fiery planet, is coming out, and it has like lots of dungeons and group content and stuff like that. And it's free to play. So if you like Star Wars, you like walking around, you like MMOs, I think this could be for you. I don't expect anyone else here is going to play it, so I'm looking at faces, trying to see if I have any fans in the audience. Do I have any fans in the audience?
This is a great trailer.
Yeah, this is really
it is good. The trailer is very good. I would,
what
Johnny. I'd play this instead of WoW.
Yeah, I'd give this a whirl. Sure.
Is
Dude,
there?
you're gonna be you and Diddy, because for those who don't know, in this game you can really be anything. Like you can be a fucking clothing designer on like a dirt planet, whatever the fuck. You and Diddy are gonna be like selling swimsuits and margaritas on like a fucking desert
Sounds
planet.
amazing.
Yeah. Chris, I had no idea you were going to talk about this game when I was shitting on it earlier. I apologize, dude. I had no idea. I'm sorry.
No, I thought it was perfect. I thought you saw it in the notes. You're like,
I did it.
I'm going to make like a bit
You
out of
can't
it.
see.
Yeah, I can't see it right now.
No, yeah. So I'm really proud of this. I've put a substantial amount of effort into the detriment of all my other
We've
hobbies.
noticed. Yeah.
Yeah, things I'm supposed to be doing. So once this is wrapped up, maybe I can get back to, being productive, not on Star Wars. But come check it out. If any of this appeals to you, MMO, Star Wars, download it. Yeah, come on down. You'll find Emilio and JP Diddy at the bar, Mos Eisley Cantina in the corner.
That's right.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Congratulations, by the way.
Before
Thank
we
you.
move on to listener questions, quick shout out to Burn Division subscribing for 21 months. He
Thanks,
says
Burn.
Emilio has to sing happy
you,
birthday
man.
to me. That's right. His birthday was recent.
Happy birthday to you, Burn Division.
I don't know if he's still here anymore.
So one day, he's like, "Oh, I burnt the fuck out of his ankle," and his ankle was all burnt from a motorcycle. He had touched his ankle to the muffler or whatever, and I was like, You should put something in between the muffler and your leg, like a Burn Division." It's just like wah wah. No, it fell so short. But I was so proud of it. I brought it up today, you motherfuckers.
Well, now we're all aware of that.
If nobody else will champion me, I will champion myself.
All right, listener questions. First one coming from Hogglefosh. Did I hear correctly that you favor the theatrical cut versus the extended of Lord of the Rings? Blasphemy, explain yourself.
Dude, Leslie, I didn't know you changed your username to Hogglefosh. Jesus.
And he also asks for our thoughts on the show so far. Has anyone been watching the show?
I watched the
Yes.
first episode. I thought it was pretty good. Two more are out now.
Yes.
Oh man.
I'll try to
I
watch
watched all
that
three of
tonight.
them.
And you talked then.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I think the reason why it's getting fucking hated on or whatever is kind of dumb. It's its own thing. I think it really brings a lot of the lore aspects, like from the books and from like professional opinions and things like that. For those who don't know, you can actually go on Amazon and there's like these endorsed books that build on the lore of Lord of the Rings. Like there's one that's about bad guys and good guys, and like the battles of Middle Earth. I think there's 9 books. But this show kind of brings that stuff to life, and I'm a big lore person, so I'm just like, yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah. Well, production value, you're not going to get any better. This is like Game of Thrones level production value, if not higher.
Yeah, you haven't seen the dwarves yet, dude. You'll be like, yeah, no, this is above the tier above Game of Thrones. Like,
Oh, really?
quality. Yeah.
What's it on?
It's on Amazon.
Amazon? Okay.
Yeah. There's over $1 billion were spent on this.
Yeah,
show,
it's
I think.
probably the most expensive show of all time.
And, like,
Really?
a lot of the comments like mention that and shit like that, and obviously some other things. Like, I think if we're gonna bring up the elephant in the room, if you've seen the trailer, is that there's black elves, and people were like, "Elves aren't black," and I'm like, dude, it's fucking Lord of the Rings. It's fantasy. They can be what the fuck they want to be. You know,
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
can be purple, and so it's just like you see so many of those comments. And you're like, who the fuck is? I legitimately think they're bots sometimes.
I saw
Because it is.
I saw an article that was talking about how like everybody's getting so sick of these trolls that just like hate on just like anything mildly that has any kind of progress in it at all. But anyway, yeah, it's stupid.
Unfortunately, they're usually like the most vocal, crazy minority.
Yeah, it's a
Like,
vocal
they're-
minority.
And they're like the one like not many people leave reviews for shows, you know, but the ones that usually do are extremely high or extremely low.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely watch it.
Yeah,
It's got my thumbs
I would
up.
recommend it as well. It's not that I prefer the theatrical release, Hagovash. It's that I'm trying to indoctrinate a 10-year-old girl into the lore, and they're not going to sit around for 4.5 hours. They don't appreciate the small
Yeah.
nuances of why this elf talked to this person at this one shot or whatever the fuck. Like it doesn't happen. So
Leslie's pointing to her nose right now. She is like, see, I can tell what she's thinking. She's like, see, you indoctrinate her now, and then years later, you're like, hey, there's extended versions.
yeah,
Let's watch
exactly,
those now, too."
exactly. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like that.
That's always how director's cuts and extended cuts work, honestly. Like, don't start with those. Like, first see if you even like it. And then if you want more, then watch the extended cut. Everybody makes that mistake because they always see, oh, director's cut, extended cut. Well, obviously, I want the entire story. I don't want to miss out on anything. And then they watch it and they're just like, you know, okay, maybe Apocalypse Now shouldn't have been 4 hours long. You know, it's just like you don't start with that. Like you start like everybody else did with the theatrical cut, and then you say this was really good. I need more, and then you have the extended cut. That's the natural progression of things.
Except for that DC movie, I don't even know what's Justice League. It's like everybody hated Justice League, and then 2 years later, the director's cut comes out, and everybody loved it.
Yeah,
Weird.
but that's the thing. It was like, that's 1 in a million.
Yeah, that's
Because
one in a
that
million.
shit-
When does that
There's a
ever
longer
happen?
story to that whole thing,
That-
though. I
yeah,
mean, there's a
that
lot of
was,
reasons
like-
why that first cut that had like huge problems in production and people getting switched out and all sorts of things happening. I mean, that could have been a much better movie if they had just like stood their ground and actually made the movie right the first time. But you know, they tried to acquiesce to audience expectations and copy Marvel a little too much. And
Yeah, it was so.
Tell
night
us
and
more
day.
on movies on the DL coming out every Thursday. Never mind, that's a dead thing.
all right, next question from Zap. What game sequel is your favorite? Mine are either Mass Effect 2 or Diablo 2.
When I
Mine's
first read
definitely
this, I said Street Fighter 2, but it doesn't really count because
No, the first Street
Yeah.
Fighter game wasn't really a Street Fighter.
it wasn't a
game.
game. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was out there. It was a thing that existed, but nobody ever played it.
Well, it wasn't Street Fighter as we know it. It was completely different.
Yeah,
It's really who can press the most inputs at once. Really, that's what it was.
I don't know, man. I always think of Left 4 Dead 2. I don't want to say that's a great sequel, but I just always think how funny that is. The balls on Valve to come out with essentially the same game about like exactly a year after the first one comes out. They release a newer version of the game, charge full price, and people are onto it right at the beginning. There was this whole Steam community that started up with, you know, tens of thousands of followers, like saying we should boycott this because Valve is, you know, just releasing the same game and they just need to put the effort into Left 4 Dead. People were upset. Didn't matter. Everybody bought the new game and forgot about Left 4 Dead 1. And yes, it did split the community. And yeah, it was pretty much the same game. In fact, you can get all the characters and maps in Left 4 Dead 2 now. So there's absolutely no reason that there should be Left 4 Dead 1. And then they have the balls again to include Left 4 Dead 1 with Evolve. Pre-purchase Evolve and get Left 4 Dead 1. Like what? What is that?
You just revealed like two sides of the coin. Like the company makes a game that is so good that people will buy it again a year later when it's a little bit different with different hair. But on the opposite side, it's like, hey man, thanks for buying this shit game. Here's a game that doesn't even really
I
need to
mean,
exist anymore.
honestly, we're used to that now with Call of Duty and Activision games, and they get released all the time. Everybody just buys them up. But back in 2009, I feel like that was a little weird, you know. But it just
Yeah, no,
to
definitely.
just
It-
completely
it-
replace your old game with a new one, and I don't know. But that was before we had loot boxes and other ways to monetize on these games, and I don't know if Valve really. I don't know. I don't know if Valve would have gone that path anyway.
I know it's not a PC game, but I don't know how monumental you guys know that fucking Street Fighter. Super Mario 3 was. It was fucking
That-
insane.
Yeah, Emilio, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I was gonna talk about Super Mario. Yeah.
Super Mario 2 came out, and it was so different and weird.
Well, it was originally a
Right.
different game,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
It
And
was
then
a
they
different
just
game.
slapped
And it was
super,
really
like, let's make it a
difficult,
Mario
too.
game, and they said let's call it Super Mario and add Mario to it. Like it was essentially a different game, but yeah, it did not fit at all in like the Mario universe.
And it had its things for it. Like you could play 4 different characters, and each of them had their abilities, and that's cool. But fucking Super Mario 3 had the music, had the map, it had the
The skins,
fucking
Yep.
dinosaurs.
Tanuki skins.
Yep.
Dinosaurs. Did the
Power-ups.
different color? Did the different colors?
Fly.
Yeah. Did the different color
Yoshis?
Yoshis have
No.
different abilities?
I don't.
Yes. Well, that's Super Mario World.
Yeah,
That's-
Oh, okay.
Yoshi
Yeah.
wasn't in Super Mario Bros. 3. No, that's when you got the Tanuki skin, the frog
yeah,
skin,
yeah,
like
yeah.
all and then the world map. The world map was really what was crazy. Like that kind of blew everybody's mind. Super Mario 3, I feel like transcended gaming. Like even if you
Yep.
weren't into video games, people knew Super Mario Bros. 3.
It was in a. I never forget. I will be in a fucking retirement home, and I will be talking about this one line in the. Was it called the Wiz?
The Wizard.
the
Was
Wizard?
it the
Yeah,
Wiz
the
or the
movie.
Wizard?
The
Yeah,
Wiz,
the one
right?
with Fred
Fred Savage.
Savage.
The Wiz, I think.
I think
Wizard.
it is the Wiz. I think
The
it is
Wizard.
the Wiz.
Whatever.
The
The
Wizard.
Wizard. So he's a very good video game player, and him and his friends go across the country to get him to the Super Mario tournament, or Super Mario tournament, and they get there and they're like, I'll never forget this. Time for the Super Mario contest, but there's a twist, and everybody's shocking off from the audience, and then goes back to the announcer, and he's like, "It's a new game, Super Mario 3," and for like. There was no internet, guys. So like this was how we found out that there was a Super Mario 3. But then they cut back to Fred Savage and his friends, and his friend says, "It's not fair. A new game. It's not fair." And I'll never remember. I'll never forget how like, yeah, it's a new game for everybody. You stupid twat. Like it's completely fair. It's actually more fair than anything else. And then they play Super Mario 3. And you see a few frames, and you're just like, and I've told this story before too. My mom worked at the mall. She used to cut hair there, but she was off that day. But we still went to fucking GameStop, or not GameStop, but EB Games, to go get. And I pre-ordered it, and I got fucking Super Mario 3, and her car was broken at the time. I don't know. We took the bus to go to her work at the mall and get this fucking game, and we got back to like probably the bus was probably like 4 blocks from my house. The stop. I left her ass on that fucking bus as I ran home, ran full speed to play fucking Super Mario 3, dude. It was, yeah, dude. That was a thing.
That was a good game. All right.
That
Any
was
more
touching.
answers out there? Best sequel?
I agreed with him saying that Mass Effect 2 is my favorite sequel. Mass Effect 2 is just such an improvement from the first game, but the story's even better. And it's just like an all-around improvement. You know, like usually people say like the first edition of something is better, and like the sequel is not as on the nose. This is
Maybe
like,
with
way
movies. Usually
better.
with video games, I don't know if that's always the case.
Yeah, I think you're right because Mass Effect is really cinematic and story based. I think that's why I'm trying to reference it like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, Mass Effect 2 is definitely my favorite sequel of all time.
Yeah, that's always the popular one in the trilogy. Or quadrilogy if we're counting that other one.
Andromeda. Oof, I don't know
Yeah,
what that-
let's not talk about that. All right. Any input on this, John? I can't remember if you.
I was literally going to say the exact same thing as Emilio. Like for me, Super Mario 3 was just pivotal in my gaming growth and getting into video games because my family was late getting a NES, and when we got one, Super Mario 3 wasn't that far behind. And then when that came out, that was the all-nighters playing games, leaving the console plugged in and turned on still, and all that fun stuff.
I do want to say Super Mario World was really good too. Like they followed it
was.
up with a
Mario
pretty
World
good
is-
hit.
Man, that-
Probably better.
Yeah.
that's the best third game. I want to
Yeah,
say. Fuck.
yeah.
That's
All right.
So
Last question from Zap. Have you ever been to a midnight game release? And if so, what game?
hell yeah, man.
Never.
Never.
When
I almost went to
Really?
Wrath when Wrath came out. My buddy went. I was going to go.
Wow.
Didn't go. And the one thing that he said when he came back from that, he's like, yeah, there was a girl there.
Oh man, the last one I actually went to was 4 years ago. I'll never forget because I was like,
That
Really?
recent? I didn't know they still did these.
yeah, it's
With
I
digital
forgot that 4 years ago too, and they're still doing them.
What game?
I went to go get the newest Super Smash Brothers for Switch, and like I bought a Switch just because of it, and I was like, dude, it's gonna be fucking awesome. It's gonna be crazy. And when I went there, I was like, God damn, there's hella people at this GameStop in the middle of Augusta, Georgia. Like, I can't imagine how popular it is everywhere else. But yeah, it was 4 years ago. I'll never forget it. But I've been to, I think, 4 midnight releases. The first one I ever went to, I don't think I've ever told this story on the podcast, was Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Or Call of Duty 3 Modern Warfare. I can't remember. Yeah, it's got like 3. So my cousin, we would play Call of Duty at internet cafes and stuff, but at the time we were like, oh shit, they're going to release one for PlayStation. And so I snuck out of my house and rode my bike to the nearest GameStop and went to it. It was pretty cool. I saved up money. I saved up cash. Like, I paid for it in cash. Like, I didn't even I pre-ordered the game once when we went to go get like sandwiches at the sandwich place next door to the GameStop, so I could get a copy. And then I like I said, I rode my bike at midnight and got it. So
Hey, Nick, have you played Smash against Jacob?
Jacob? No, I mean, yeah, I have, but it's like insane.
That fucking kid, dude. It's
Dude.
like so Jacob is my nephew that's how much younger than you,
He's
Nick?
3 years younger than me.
Yeah. So of course, nephews just smash them at old fucking video games. They're like, here, kid, here's this unplugged controller, right? Just have fun with that. And then 1 year I go back and he's like, you want to play some Smash Brothers? I'm like, sure. To say I didn't fucking touch him was like, yeah, he just fucking, I never got any damage on him. He just smoked me. I'm like, this is what you've been doing with your time. Gotcha.
So I want to say 4 years ago as well. I was like, I was on base and I used to work with this guy, and this guy was kind of like pretty different. Like, he didn't talk to people. He like kind of sat outside social circles. And he invited me over his house one day, and he was like, "Hey man, you want to play some Smash?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go, dude. Like, I've been playing it like crazy. I've been getting super sweaty. Like, let's do it." And dude, I got my ass whooped worse than I did when I played Jacob. Like, it was embarrassing. He was like, "You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna tell you what character I'm gonna pick, and you can pick any character you want. But I'm gonna tell you the moves I do them before I even do them." And he kicked my ass.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're so good, dude. They're so good.
It's man. He ended up placing second place in a state tournament, that year.
Damn.
Yeah, I was like, holy fuck, dude, this is so
Hey.
crazy.
That's not to mention Bobby's down the street neighbor who is the Super Mario World Champion.
Dr. Mario.
Dr. Mario.
Dr. Mario.
Dr. Mario.
I love the music from Dr. Mario.
Oh, yeah. All right. That's an episode. What's everybody playing next week?
I'm gonna be
for-
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, probably for me, it's just a more Steelrising. Probably still kicking Emilio's ass in Nova Drift for high score challenge,
Son of a
and
bitch.
yeah, that's
Oh,
about it.
I had 3 hours to sit on my ass at work today, and I
Yeah.
forgot my fucking Steam Deck that I had charged specifically for today. I charged it all night. I'm like, I put Nova Drift on there. I'm going to beat this motherfucker. And then I forgot it like a bitch. God damn it. I'm still
3
pissed.
hours of nothing to do, and
Yeah.
you don't have email at your work, dude. Your job is so different than mine.
I know.
I can't. I ran a filter in my Outlook, by the way. Guess how many emails I get a week? Keep in mind, a lot of these are
1,100?
going to be up. They're going to be like notifications, updates,
yeah.
anything in our ticket system. But yeah, no, way higher than 100, dude. Are you kidding me?
I said
1,000?
1,100.
Not less than 1,000.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'll tell you.
440.
673. Yeah.
That's a lot.
I sat in my car. This is why I'm there, dude. I'm there because the storm. We had the hurricane, right? So I'm there sitting in my car in case something falls over. Basically, that's all. Like a fence or a fucking sign or something that
Okay.
takes us out of compliance with the city. So that's what I was doing.
Damn.
Yeah. Sometimes it's nice, dude. Most of the time it's not. Sometimes
Yeah, if
it's nice.
something does fall, I guess that's.
Yeah.
Or you'd
All
be
right.
like Amelia and you break like a over $100,000 thing.
Yeah. Well, that's what insurance is for.
Yeah.
Next week, I actually really want to play Deep Rock Galactic. They've got an Oktoberfest event going on, so of course I got to get the beer keg hat. But other than that, I just kind of feel like it's time again. I don't know. I've had the urge to play that game, and these friends that I've reconnected with through HOTS, I kind of want to drag them into it. I hope a sale's
There you
coming
go.
up so I can
Oh, there you
really
go.
talk them into it. It's hard to talk people into the $30 price point. And I'm like, dude, don't worry, you're going to get your money's worth. But $15 when it's on sale, that's a pretty easy.
Yep.
That's a pretty
really
easy
good.
sale.
Yeah.
It's really good. You know, it's oddly enough, like as the stars align once again, you're going to be picking that up next week. Like the dwarf race for Warhammer is being released on the table. And so it's so fucking weird that you're going to be picking up Deep Rock Galactic the same week that is coming out.
There's no dwarves in.
So there were a long, long time ago, and they were kind of made fun of in the lore. They were called squats, and calling them that, and like a bunch of other like stereotypical stuff. Like they weren't really unique to Warhammer, so people kind of forgot about them. And it's been over like 28 years since models have been made of them.
Oh shit.
And they're called the Leagues of Votan, and so they're all about building robots, but also being great fighters themselves, like melee fighters. And so it's pretty cool. I'll check it out.
I'm pretty addicted to Street Fighter right now. It is a heroin stream for me right now because the hits are quick and they're like I can actually play online and run a family at the same time because the matches are so short,
Is it
And-
crossplay?
Yeah, it's crossplay. Yep.
Oh man, I have Street Fighter 5, so I might play against you.
All right, get ready to get smoked, son. Unless you're like Jacob. And
Akumaldi.
besides that, still want to play some God of War, but we'll see if I get to it. All right. Speaking for Chris, Nick, John, and Bobby, Street Fighter tits. Oh, all the chicks on ours. It's ridiculous. It's distracting. Half the time I lose, it's the girls, basically. Boom, boom, boom.
So, Nick, you're not here next week?
Nah, I'm going to a bachelor party. I'll be in Dallas.
Okay.
Nice.
But Amanda's back next week, right?
Yep.
I believe so, yeah. So
Okay.
we'll be same amount of people.
Bye bye.